Hey guys, so today is another one of those weird finger videos where I'm not actually in it. I thought I'd do just a basic, well it's not really basic, but just what a nail tech would do for a cuticle work kind of manicure. This is the type of manicure that's like a step up from just a file and a polish, with some cuticle work and stuff like that. So I thought I'd just show you that before actually going on to any like nail painting or anything like that. I've got a couple of polishes I want to do some swatches for, but before that I thought it might be a good idea just to show you what my routine manicure is every couple of weeks, 10 to 14 days, obviously depending on how quickly your cuticles grow. As you can probably see, my nails are a hell of a lot shorter than they were in the last video. I had a bit of a break on this finger doing some cleaning at work, so I had to shorten them all down, which I'm a bit gutted about, but oh well. They're not in that bad condition. There's a couple of like dents and stuff in them. I don't know if you saw the shape before, but it was kind of like a pointed look, like it wasn't really a stiletto nail, it was more like a claw than anything else. And I don't know if you can see there, but there was like a bit of a nick just going across, and that's where the nail basically bent. So it's not like the most appropriate nails for work, but it's what's in at the moment, so it's what you tend to do, kind of keeping up with the times. So yeah, I'll just try and go straight into it. So the first step that you do is you'd sanitize your hands and the client's hands, but in this case obviously it's just me. So what I use is the CND, oh god, I don't know if you can really see this, the CND Cool Blue, and it's just normal hand sanitizing with a pump applicator, so just one pump will do, and you just rub that into your hands. From there you will do any trimming that needs doing with a nail clipper, but obviously mine are pretty short so I won't be needing to do that. The next step would be to file your nails. This is like my favourite nail file ever, and it's the Leighton Denny glass nail file. I don't know how hygienic these are to use as a nail tech, like on multiple people, but I use this on just me, on just my nails, and it just files them down super quick. There isn't that horrible like burnt nail smell that you can sometimes get from filing, and it's just really like long standing, and I haven't had to buy a new one, and I've had this for a good few years now, so it's really good. So you'd file. Next step, if you're doing cuticle work, I use the CND Cuticle Away Cuticle Remover, which comes like this, with an applicator like that. You just twist the applicator top open and you apply just a small amount to each finger. And then if you don't have a cuticle pusher like this, you can always use a cuticle stick that's like usually like this on one end and like that on the other, and it's this end that then you would then use to push back, but I've got a professional one, so this is the one that I like to use the most. And then what you do is you just push it around so that it's touching all the side walls and the eponychium and where the cuticle is there, all the way around. It's okay to get this on your fingers and on your nail and stuff, there's no problem about that. And then obviously depending on what product you're using, some say to leave it on for 1 minute, some say to leave it on for a few minutes. Some you'll have to soak in water, but with this one there's no water involved. You literally leave it on here for a minute while you're waiting for this to sort of soften your cuticles. You'd be like trimming, filing and stuff of the other hand, and by the time you finish that second hand and apply the cuticle away, this one will be ready to push back. So I haven't actually left it a minute, but I haven't done my cuticles too long ago, so it shouldn't be too bad. And all you have to do is literally just start pushing back, not pressing too hard, otherwise you'll start damaging the nail. Just literally enough to just scrape away any dead and loose skin that's growing over the nail, and then just swipe that off onto a cotton pad. What I tend to find sometimes as well is if you've got a stubborn polish that you've just tried to take off, and sometimes it gets like right in the creases and you can't get like the polish remover and the cotton pad to take it away from that corner. A lot of the time cuticle remover can remove it because it's just stuck to dead skin that's in that area. So if you use cuticle remover, it will get rid of it. And then you do the same on the second hand. Okay, so the next thing you want to do after you have sorted all your cuticles out is you want to take away all evidence of the cuticle away. So the best idea is to get rid of it using either nail polish remover that has some acetone in it, or what I usually use from CND, which is called Scrub Fresh. It's this colour, so it's just in a small bottle, but it's blue in colour, but it comes in a completely different container, but it's called Scrub Fresh, and it's basically a nail dehydrator. This product helps to dehydrate the nail so that the polish sticks to the nail a lot better, but I use it also to get rid of any of this cuticle away stuff that if you leave it on for too long, it can sort of overwork the cuticles and probably damage them. But if you have access to a sink, use something like Scrub Fresh or nail varnish remover, preferably with acetone, and then wash your hands with warm soapy water. But I don't have access to warm soapy water, so it will just have to be Scrub Fresh. So you just get a pad, preferably lint free so it doesn't stick to your nail, but I don't have lint free at the moment, so just a normal cosmetic pad, and then just apply some Scrub Fresh like so, and just start to wipe it off the nail. And it's that squeaking sound that you want, because you know that it's definitely off and that the nail is dry. Okay, so once all the product is off, you are ready to file down any little pieces that you find have flapped up when you started using the cuticle away or after you washed your hands. Sometimes the dead bits that you filed off can sometimes flake underneath, and you can file them off. Another good tip for anyone who has ridged nails or slightly damaged nails from bending or anything like that is you can get them like a 4-way buffer. This is a 6-way buffer, and I tend to use the side 3, which says even out the nail, just to lightly buff over and sort of cancel out any ridges in the nails. Okay, once that's done, get rid of any of the dust. Again, I'm using a lint-free pad. And then your next step will be to condition the nail. Now usually you would do this step, you can do it before the polish and then you can do it after the polish, or either or, whichever you prefer. If you do it before you apply the polish, leave it a couple of minutes to sort of sink in, work its magic, and then once again, using a cotton pad and some Scrub Fresh or some acetone, just dehydrate the nail once again. I mean, the cream can soak into your cuticles, around the nail bed and on your fingers and the rest of your hand, but you want the actual nail plate to be as dry as possible to make sure it adheres properly. So let's say that we weren't going to apply polish, I would use the CND Solar Oil. You can get creams for cuticles, you can get oils, you can get all sorts, you can even get some gels, but this one, for me, smells and works the best. I always notice a difference in my cuticles pretty much straight after. It's got a slight almond scent, very subtle and extremely easy to use, and a little goes a long way when it comes to oils, which is why I like to use it too. So you just take up the brush like this and just swipe across the bottom. Again, you don't need too much, so just swipe and then rub it in. Just make sure you get right into the cuticles and the side walls. You can even go over the nail, just make sure that you then dehydrate it before you paint it. One thing I'd just like to say as well while I'm doing this, if you've ever gone for a manicure, or if you're thinking of maybe doing this as a profession, one thing I'd like to just tell you is that the epinicium and the cuticle are two completely different things. So when you come to actually trimming your cuticle, a lot of people think that the cuticle is this bit here, when it's not. So a lot of people go and trim this, because some people can't feel it, so they think that it's dead skin. That's still live skin. So when that grows back, it will grow back hard, and then your manicures will look horrible, basically. Not only that, you can cause an infection. Don't Google it, because it's disgusting. Your cuticle is basically any skin that's just overgrowing onto the nail. If you Google actually epinicium, you'll see what I mean, and you'll be able to tell the difference pretty much straight away. Okay, next step is hand cream. Now it's completely up to you whether you think you need it or you don't, but usually after a manicure it's nice to just set everything in and finish off with a hand cream. The hand cream that I've been currently obsessing over is one that I actually got with my glossy box, which is the YVES ROCHER Collection Cacao, Cacao and Pistachio Nut Hand Cream, and it's this one here. So I'm just going to take a tiny amount of that because my hands aren't too bad. So just a small amount like that, and rub it in. Once your hand cream is rubbed in, you're ready to go. Now the next step, if you were to apply polish, would be, like I said, to dehydrate the nail with any form of nail dehydrator / acetone nail varnish remover type product. Otherwise you're pretty much set to go from here. One last tip before I go, you can actually damage your nail more if you don't put anything on it at all. I know people are really wary about constantly changing their polish, but you're better off changing your polish once or twice a week, even if it's literally just a base coat. Doesn't have to be a colour, maybe just a base or a base and a top, as it acts like a barrier against sort of the weather and any potential damage that you could cause to your nail. So don't be scared about having some polish on there, as it does help it out a lot. So my next video will be a follow-on from this, which will be a swatch of an Illamasqua polish. So if you fancy watching that, then subscribe and it will be up very soon. Thanks guys, bye.